Once I get the cone. Hey everyone, and welcome to Chef AJ Live. I'm your host, Chef AJ, and this is where I introduce you to amazing people like you who are doing great things in the world that I think you should know about. Well, I thought I was going to have time to take a shower and change between show number 3 and 4, but eating was more important. I had a delicious lunch. Thank you very much. Hannah yams, broccoli, Chef Bravo soup, and banana bread. And I am full and satisfied. And we're going to show you more delicious recipes today from the bundle. We have Diane Rose Solomon, who's a new friend now, meeting for the first time, a bundle contributor. She'll tell you all about her fabulous cooking classes. The cauliflower curry one looks amazing in the bundle, but she's also going to show you some recipes she's made from the bundle, like the peanut butter banana Bliss bars and the Goodman peanut chews and a spicy Thai dressing, or Rachel Detroit's chocolate chip cookies and hummus. And the greatest thing about this bundle is being in the bundle. And I mean, if you have a product, it has to be vegan and oil-free. It doesn't have to be a food product. We have, mindful classes. We have cluttering classes. But if it is a food product, vegan and oil-free, of course, we all become friends and just go on each other's platforms and meet each other. And it turns out today's guest lives around the corner from the last show's guest. Like, they might not have known that if they weren't in the bundle.
We would not have known that.
But we thank you for buying the bundle, whoever you're buying it from. But if you'd like to support Diane, the link is her unique link is right below. Yeah, each person has his own link. So, there's no like one link to buy the bundle. It's you pick one of the 150 contributors. So we're going to learn a little bit about her story, when she went plant-based, why, and why she likes the bundle. And here she is, Diane Rose Solomon. Hello.
Hello, thank you so much, Chef AJ. I'm just delighted to be here with you today. It's really
thank you. So who are you?
Who am I? Well, I come from an animal advocacy background, actually. I wrote books about animal rescue in a former life. I made documentary films about the human-animal bond. And when I was in college, actually, in another lifetime, I read the book Animal Liberation by Peter Singer, and it hit me hard that I was eating animals. But this was in the 1980s, and I tried being vegetarian, which lasted about 2 weeks because nobody else around me was vegetarian. It wasn't even a discussion. I wouldn't even have known what to do to stick with it. And I didn't stick with it. Fast forward, college graduate, and then little by little started eliminating animals from my life, just because for ethical reasons, really. And then, I don't know, maybe 8, 9, 10 years ago, I was vegetarian, and I thought I was being altruistic, and this was it. Until I started learning about the horrors of the dairy and the egg industry. And then in 2019, I went completely vegan. And I didn't know how to cook anything vegan. I was cooking for my family at the time, and I was sad. I missed cooking. So about a year later in 2020, one of the vegan bloggers that I follow was offering a cooking class, and I jumped right on it. I didn't even care how much it cost. I just took this vegan cooking class because I would open up cookbooks and there were ingredients in it, vegan cookbooks, and I had no idea what they were. And I would freak out and I would close the cookbooks. And so I jumped on this cooking class and I learned how to cook vegan. And I thought afterwards, well, this is amazing. I'm now vegan and I know how to cook vegan. I'm going to tell the world about cooking vegan. I can do it. You can do it too. But I thought, well, what if being vegan isn't so healthy? What if I'm giving people bad information? And so I attended the Cornell plant-based nutrition program. And I learned through that you can be a junk food vegan and eat potato chips and Oreos and drink soda, but you're vegan. So it's great for the animals, but it's not so great for the human animals. Or you can learn about whole food plant-based eating, and you're still vegan, but you're now feeding your body good whole food. And I thought this was great. And all I had to do was tweak some of the recipes that I'd already been making, and they were whole food plant-based. And it was really, the timing of it was kind of perfect because my husband's cholesterol had gone up to 258. And I said to him, his doctor said, "You're going on statins." And I said, "Wait, hold on. I just learned about whole food plant-based eating. I've learned how to cook. I'm going to put it all together. Give me 3 months. Let's see if we can turn this around without you going on statins." And sure enough, 3 months later, his cholesterol had gone from 258 to 178. And I said, that's it. Like, this is the proof is right here. I can be vegan. I can cook food. I can cook healthy food. And I started hosting cooking classes last spring because I wanted to be able to show people. A lot of people say, I want to learn how to do this, but a recipe isn't enough. It wasn't enough for me. I had to take a cooking class. So I said, let's teach people how to do this. So I started hosting cooking classes last year. This year I started teaching cooking classes. And I joined the bundle because I wanted to share the classes that I've been teaching. And it turns out I have learned so much from this bundle. I've been having the best time with not just the cooking, but the classes that I've been taking. It's really just been amazing. I've been loving it.
Thank you for saying that. People don't realize that we love the bundle too, and we use it.
Love the bundle.
We're not just contributors, we're actual users.
Oh, yeah, it's true.
Nice. Tell us about your unique offering, because I could see I actually haven't completed, the clicking, but I saw cauliflower like curry, and that I love cauliflower,
We taught 3 classes last year, and the first one was cauliflower curry. Well, we wanted to make something that was easy, that was really customizable. So there's tofu in it, but that's optional. I don't even remember all the different, almost everything's optional in it. You can put a little more of this, and our recipes are really forgiving. Like, you can do it this way, but if you want to add this or add that or subtract this or subtract that, it'll all be good. And we want to make it easy for people, especially if it's brand new, especially if cooking plant-based is new to you. So that was the first class. The second class was summer barbecue, and we did veggie burgers. We did a pesto that you can use on anything, but most typically people put it on pasta. And we did a warm veggie salad with a balsamic vinaigrette, and just oil-free, all oil-free, and just delicious. And it's stuff that you can cook. I cook that stuff on just a regular weeknight, but you could take it to a party, no problem. And then the third class was a Mexican fiesta. We did fajitas and we did tacos, and we didn't get impossible meat and make tacos. We made them from vegetables, and it doesn't taste like you're eating riced cauliflower mixed with mushrooms and walnuts by the time you're done with it. It tastes like you're eating a taco, but it's all healthy food in there. And it's really quite amazing what people like you have done to pave the way for people like me to learn how to cook.
Thank you. Did you have a culinary background of any kind?
I don't, and I'm really just a home cook. And my food, one of the classes in the bundle is food styling, and I really think I need to take it because my food tastes really good, but I'm terrible at making it look good. So I think I'm going to take that food styling class to make it look pretty.
Yeah, I forgot about that. It's like it's going to take more than a year to go through the bundle, isn't it?
It's going to take so long because I've just scratched the surface. I've been cooking up a storm, and not just cooking up a storm, but taking some of the courses. Melanie Joy has a vegan advocacy course in it that is so helpful for anybody who's plant-based, because we're constantly getting the barrage from, meat eaters about how we should be living our lives and how we shouldn't be intruding on their lives. And it can be really difficult. And so her course is really amazing. And Drina Burton has a fascia exercise class that I've been doing, and my body feels really good. So Drina Burton has amazing cookbooks, but here she is teaching this fascia class, and I'm taking it, and it's fantastic.
And that's nice. And the thing is you don't have to take the class right now, but you do have to download the bundle before 1 year.
Yes, you do. And before this Sunday, you have to grab it.
That's true. If you don't buy it by 11:59 p.m. Pacific time, it's going to be gone forever. It's only $49. That's amazing for over $8,000 worth of content.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Is this the first time you've done a bundle?
Yes. In fact, my friend Joya, who has an ebook this year and had an ebook last year, she invited me. And at first I was like, a bundle? I think I'd seen a bundle in another industry, but didn't really know what it was.
They do them in industries. Like there'll be yoga bundles, business course bundles.
Yeah.
Bundle just means bundling it up.
Bundling stuff, but
it's not exclusive to plant-based.
No.
Yes, Terry, I just put her link right there. Terry, if you just look, it should be right above where you made your post. I did put the bundle link right there, and it's clickable. So maybe we both posted at the exact same time.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So yeah, so this bundle, I'd heard of bundle, but I wasn't that familiar. And I really was kind of like stabbing, just it was very, I was stabbing in the dark as to what I was doing. But once in the fall, once you and Melissa started like sharing information, I started to understand it. And then once I saw it, once you shared it with the participants, I was blown away. I couldn't believe all the amazing stuff. And then when I really started digging into it and cooking the recipes and taking the classes, I was sold. I mean, I'll keep doing the bundle every year. It's just amazing.
I wish it was something that was available at the holidays because it would make an excellent gift, especially for people that, are struggling or want to learn how to go plant-based. Because not, I don't want to say none of us, but many of us didn't have a resource like this when we were transitioning.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. So show us some of the stuff you made.
Well, you mentioned that Edie Desser from Garden of Edie was your last guest. Her food is beautiful. She's got her own garden and her food is beautiful. And I've made a couple of her salad dressings. And she also has a quinoa crouton that I'm going to make the next time I make gazpacho. I make a lot of gazpacho in the summer, especially when my son's home. He helps me eat it. But she has this spicy, I think it's called spicy Thai dressing. I think that's what it's called. And it is so flavorful. I can't even tell you. It's got some sweet, it's got some tang, it's got like there's so many things happening in your mouth as you eat it. So it's the green on top of the green. And it's so like when I'm done spooning it on top of here, I eat it by the spoonful because it's food in here. It's food and spices and herbs in here. It's so flavorful. I could really eat it by the spoonful. It's delicious.
Yeah, I'm opening up her book now. I see it. It does look really good. I don't know if you saw the last show with her, but she talked about some walnut vinegar that had like no calories.
Oh, that's so good. I love it. I've experimented with a few different vinegars. There's a store up in Ventura County, in the town of Ventura, that has all these amazing flavored vinegars. And a friend of mine brought me some as a gift. It's such an easy thing to put on. And I was saying this to my husband. It's so easy just to put the vinegar on your salad. But if you take the extra couple of minutes to make something like this, it is so delicious and it's unique and it's a really nice change. So really nice thing.
So do you know the name of the store? Because I don't know if you're familiar with California Balsamic, but you are going to get 2 free bottles of California Balsamic vinegar just for a first-time guest on this show.
Oh, that's so sweet. I saw on your website somewhere that that's one of your offers. You have a link to that somewhere, and I thought I should probably try some of those balsamic. It's not that I'd have to find what the name. It's actually a very clever name. And then they're not just vinegars, they're oils too, but they have a lot of different vinegars too.
I'm
So
going to Google it because I used to live near you and I don't remember. The only place I was ever able to find the reduced vinegars was at the Americana in Glendale.
okay, I don't know that it's reduced sugar or reduced calorie. It's just yummy vinegar.
Oh, no, but reduced by, okay. So what we mean by reduced is they take the regular 4%
And
vinegar and they reduce it. So they don't add sugar, or at least they shouldn't, but they may add flavors or spices. And it's now thick and syrupy. It's
which is
called
really good.
is it called Vomfass? VOMFASS?
No, I'm gonna grab it right here. It's right here, and I'll tell you exactly what it is.
I would
And
love to know that we just, because sometimes places have different flavors than other places. If you guys are
okay, I found it.
fans, I'd love to know what your favorite flavor is.
It's called Olive Ventura. So they make a lot of different olive oils, but this is a lemon vinegar. It's so good. And they have all sorts of different flavors. I am not getting paid to promote Olive Ventura, but it's really good. It's good stuff. So good. Another contributor whose stuff I've been making a lot of, and we're actually going to be doing a live together on Friday afternoon, is Rachel Detroit. She has 7 ebooks in the box.
That's amazing.
She's so prolific. It's unbelievable. And she's really cool too. She's really, really cool. And so I did make her chocolate chip cookies the other day, and they're no oil. And the original recipe called for a nut butter. And I know that my husband won't like that flavor. So I asked, I said, what can we substitute? And she said, oh, cashew butter is a really good neutral nut butter. And I said, that's what I'll do. And I think I did that once before in a recipe. So I made this and he couldn't tell that there was nut butter in it. So that was a win right there because he thinks he doesn't like nuts, but I keep sneaking nut butters into recipes. And so he keeps getting some nuts.
That's funny. So he doesn't taste it.
He doesn't taste it. And I made her hummus, which is really nice. And I'm making her falafel for dinner tonight, which I'm really excited about. And I've never made falafel before. And her recipe looks really accessible, really easy. I've been soaking garbanzo beans overnight, which is a super easy thing to do. And she also, in her desserts, she has a banana peanut butter bliss, is what she calls it. And I happened to make it one morning. I'll show you. I happened to make it one morning. It's this. And I ended up eating it for breakfast. And I emailed her. I said, I know you build it as a dessert, but I ended up eating it for breakfast because I figured it's bananas and it's nut butter. And it's really no different than if I were to eat all of those ingredients by themselves. And it's really good. It's like a nice little, blondie, but peanut butter and banana. And it's really nice. And I made your peanut chews, which I love. They're so good and they're easy. And you're right, they are so rich. Like these are kind of small pieces right here on the platter. And I think I could even make them smaller because they're so rich, which is really nice because you don't.
Oops, sorry about that. Something just
Okay.
went on my computer. They're great. You can freeze them.
Which is great because there's no way I'm going to get through all of these. There's no way. They're so good. And in fact, I've been freezing a lot because I've been making so much stuff this week. I've been freezing a lot.
Yep. So do you do plant-based for your job? Like, I mean, is this is more of a vocation or is it a hobby or like do you full-time?
It's becoming a job. I started offering the cooking classes last year. And then this January, I offered my own first class where I taught directly and I didn't work with another chef. The chef that I worked with last year was delightful. We met in the Cornell plant-based nutrition program, actually. And so we had a great time working together. But this year I said, I'm going to do this myself because I'm not a trained chef, but I know how to get dinner on the table. And I thought, this is what a lot of people just want to learn how to do. How do I get a meal put together that tastes good? And actually, a friend of mine had just watched the twin study that's on Netflix right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And she called me. She's like, I'm freaking out now that I'm seeing what's really what's happening with my food. She says, I need help. I said, I'm starting a class, and she joined it. And she was so grateful to learn how to cook plant-based. And my husband knows his husband. We're family friends. And he said, I don't know if her husband's going to eat this food. And sure enough, she calls me. She says, he loves it. He can't get enough of it. So, you think that people aren't going to like it, but they end up liking it. It's just good food. We come into this world with so many prejudices. It's amazing. Or we learn prejudices. We don't come in that way. We learn prejudices.
What was your diet like before going plant-based?
I would consider myself a healthy eater to begin with. I already ate a lot of salads, I ate a lot of fruits and vegetables, but I was kind of brainwashed by the whole eat a high protein and vegetable world. So it was like a lot of salmon and vegetables or salmon on top of a salad. And when really all I wanted was the potato. And as soon as I went plant-based, and this is hard for a lot of people to understand when they're first going plant-based, that like, what am I going to do if I'm not eating the salmon or the chicken, because I know I need the protein and that's what I've been told to keep the weight down, quote unquote. And then when you start eating whole food plant-based and you're learning how to get your protein, which is from carbohydrates, that you're so much more satisfied. You're not sad that you're not eating the potato because you're eating the potato. You're not sad that you're not eating the brown rice because you're still eating the brown rice. And it's really, it's so satisfying to be eating this way. And so, yeah, I thought I was eating much more healthfully than I was. And then when you learn what really healthy eating is, it's really quite remarkable.
That's amazing. What do you eat in a day now?
Well, actually, I'm glad you just asked that because I usually start my day with some kind of oat or sometimes Ezekiel cereal or something like that with berries on it. And one of the contributors who I think you met the other day is Ellen Allard. She's
Yes, another new
Ellen's
friend.
Healthy Kitchen. Her ebook submission is just 20 recipes of oats. And the first one that I made kind of changed my life. And I hate being a little bit silly about this, but it's peanut butter and jelly oatmeal. And it was so good. And I thought, sometimes I put walnuts on my oats and whatnot, but this was like a whole new level of fun breakfast. And I can't wait to try more of her recipes. Actually, I'm going to be making some of her muffins. She's got a muffin in there that I really want to make. So that'll be like a nice breakfast slash um, snack item. So I usually eat some kind of oats in the morning or some kind of grain in the morning with fruit on top. And I live in Southern California. We have the best farmers market. So I'm constantly I'm kind of a farmers market junkie. I'm always at the farmers market. And so I get the best strawberries and I get wonderful blueberries when they're in season. And so I'm really fortunate that way that I put that on. So I'll add some flaxseed, or if I make overnight oats, some chia will go into it just for extra nutrition. Lunch is usually either leftovers because I'm really careful to make a lot of dinner so that we have at least a day of leftovers the next day, or a salad or something like that. And with these interesting dressings, it's really a lot more fun. And what else do I eat? I eat I love crackers, so I eat these Mary's crackers like with hummus. So a lot of my snacks in the afternoon are hummus with vegetables, and there's so many different like ways that you can flavor hummus, and it doesn't have to be boring. It used to be just like, oh, boring plain old hummus, but there's so many wonderful ways to eat it. So yeah, and so dinner is a lot of times it's a different type of tofu or vegetable and grain, or I make a delicious. I have two different recipes for bolognese that are lentil based or one that's tofu based with a whole grain pasta. And so it's all just really satisfying food. And my husband's been really enjoying it with me too. And he's been a great support. So I'm really
And
fortunate.
did he join you in your journey?
He's not quite vegan. He's still sort of a pescatarian, but we don't bring in any animal products into the house. And when his cholesterol went from 258 to 178, he said, I got to hand it to you. The proof is right there.
Hey, well, if he gets rid of the fish, he might go even lower. You
It
never
might go
know.
even lower.
You
He
just
doesn't
tell him to do a little experiment just for 30 days, just to see.
see what happens. So it's been quite a journey, but really fun. And I've been kind of like a kid in the candy store this week, making all these dishes because it's been so creative learning how to cook and eat new plant-based recipes. So it's really been fun. And then to be able to get all of these recipes from the bundle and be cooking them with the people I've been going live with and everything, I've really been a kid in a candy store. It's been great.
Yep. And people are commenting that unfortunately we can't control that there's a conversion rate with Australian purchases and a
Yeah.
Canadian. We're sorry that it is more expensive. But when you think that like a book can cost, just buying a hardcover book or an ebook can cost $30 for just a few pennies more, you get 2,000 recipes. And what book has 2,000? You're lucky if a book has, 200, not to mention all the courses. And so
Yeah.
there's a question about downloading that I see here. So the recipe for the cookies, Jade, is in Rachel Detroit's book.
Yes.
Recipe for the Goodman peanut chews is just a bonus recipe I put in. So
Mhm.
Laura, no, you can download all 150 items. Now, if your computer somehow has a download all button, and I think we got rid of that, then you will miss downloads because it just never works. But no, you can download all of the items and you have a year to do so. We recommend you store it not just in a folder, but get an external thumb drive or flash drive. It's just a little safer to do that, but you have a whole year. And yes, of course, you can download all of them. And Ron just bought the bundle. Thank you. I feel like saying operators are standing by, Are you part of, is there any, I've been out of LA now for 5 years. So any big vegan scene there now that I should know about or restaurants or anything?
Well, unfortunately, a couple of them have closed recently.
Oh, which one's closed? I'm sorry to hear
Plant
that.
Food and Wine in Venice closed,
I
and
didn't even know it was even open.
yeah, Plant Food and Wine was just closed a few months ago. That was the same owner. It was Matthew Kinney, 00, so they closed also. But there was a great plant-based sushi restaurant that opened in West LA about 9 months ago, and it was only open for 6 months, and it was so good.
I love sushi because I'm too lazy to make my own. What was it called and where was it?
Kusaka, they reopened. They just
Oh,
reopened.
oh,
So
good.
it's right in West LA in a really weird spot actually. But we're like going back soon and we're gonna go back often so we can help support them so they can stay open because it's a really unique, very special place. Yeah, but I'm just happy if we go out to dinner and there's a good vegan option on the menu. I'm just thrilled and delighted.
Nice. Are you in any vegan meetup groups or anything like that?
Actually, I am part of Vegan Toastmasters, and
Oh, I used to go there and I still get their emails because they do it online now, don't they?
we're online now. I'm actually the president of Vegan Toastmasters
Oh,
right
maybe
now.
I could come back, yeah, because you
We'd
see,
love to. We're actually doing a celebration because it's our 20-year anniversary. If you'd like to come back for that, we'd love to have you.
when is that? Because they used to have it at the Whole Foods in, I think it was Venice, and it was upstairs, and then they moved it to a fire station. So I did used to attend, I don't know if I ever really joined Toastmasters, but I used to love the table games. I think it's the time that's a problem. Isn't it Sunday at 3?
It's Sunday at 3.
Okay, you should put that in your show notes because people might want to join Vegan
Okay,
Toastmasters.
I will. I'll add
Yeah,
it.
I mean, I get the emails and I'm like, I'd love to do it. And I just feel like sometimes I'm just doing something else at that time. But I did enjoy it because, if I ever have a speech I want to practice, that'd be a best place to do it.
It'd be the best place to do it. So yeah,
Wow, so you're the president.
thank
Congratulations.
you.
It was a guy like Rutan,
Hey,
Rutan.
that he's going to be very happy that you remembered his name. Yeah, we were talking about.
David. I remember the great little bit like salt and pepper
Yeah,
hair.
his hair is he's way longer than mine now. It's
Yeah,
like
I totally remember. Didn't go very many meetings or very long because I think they were having their meetings at the time Saturday morning. And again, it's not because I'm not interested. It's just
Well, I had joined years ago also, but my kids had their soccer games at the same time, and I said I can't do both. So I left for a while, but then I went back a few years ago.
okay. Are your kids plant-based and how old are they?
My kids are 21 and 23. They're not plant-based.
Oh,
I'm sad because they were already out of the house when
oh, you couldn't control them.
I
But
couldn't control it. And my daughter is very willing to eat anything I cook. And so will my son. In fact, for Thanksgiving last year, the question is, are you coming home or not? I said, because if you're coming home, I'm cooking plant-based. I said, if you want to go to friend's house, that's your business. But if you're coming to our house, and my daughter said, I'll eat your food if you come home. And I said to my son, do you want to go out to friend's house where it won't be all plant-based? I'll bring a dish. Or do you want to stay home? He said, I'll stay home. I said, that means I'm cooking. And he said, that's fine. I'm happy for you to cook. So they're happy to eat whatever I cook, but they live somewhere else. And I didn't get to them early enough. I'm hoping it rubs off over time.
wow, well, maybe if you just keep feeding, do they live near you?
No, they're in Colorado.
Well, Colorado's a mecca of healthy eating.
I know it is. I know it is. No, my daughter eats really well. My son's, he's got a ways to go.
Well, hey, look, maybe you make it so good, make them the Goodman peanut chews, the peanut butter Bliss bars while they're there. Maybe you'll change a few minds.
My daughter's for sure.
Oh, that's very cool. Yeah, well, you learned it when you learned it. So, oh, somebody's mentioning, hold on one second. Pam says, I got the bundle last evening. Thank you. But it took about 2 hours to get my email. Charles, I'm going to ask my husband because usually it's immediate, but I will hopefully. Charles?
Yeah.
Pam is mentioning that it took 2 hours to get the email after she bought the bundle. Is that normal?
Sign this.
We would have to buy it to tell you, but I haven't heard that before, but I'm glad you got it. And if anybody needs help, it's uwlbundle@gmail.com. And let's see, what is the name of the restaurant? Is it Kusaki, the one in West?
Kusaki, yep. Kusaki.
Wow. Oh, God.
It's
If I
very
had-
artistic and it's really tasty too.
If I had a close, I get my vegan sushi at Winco. I'm not
Yeah.
fancy.
Yeah.
They often have it in the cooler, and if not, they'll make it for me. And it probably has a little sugar in the sushi rice and what in the ginger. I don't care. It's delicious. But if I had a sushi restaurant near me, I would probably eat there 5 days because I know how to make it. I went to culinary school, but I've become the laziest chef. Not that I'm lazy. I work so much. I don't have time to do anything other than the meals that I batch
That you're
cook.
making. Yeah.
You know, I gotta say, do you batch cook, Diane? Because thank God for batch cooking, or we would never eat because I love that I can just like, well, actually, Tammy Kramer, who's in the bundle, lives near me and dropped off dinner for us for 2 nights.
Oh,
She has a beautiful book in the bundle called Elegant Entertaining, and she made my favorite soup of hers, which is a potato corn chowder that has wild rice in it. And she gave us enough for 2 days, and she made her famous corn muffins and a big salad. She's known for her salads. And so, but if she hadn't done that, I always can pull something out a freezer. And there's I have two main like stapley entrees, starchy staples, I call them, that I can always make. And I do that because they're our favorite. Like we don't
yeah.
mind eating them even twice a week, but Tuesday is always tostadas, and I make a delicious tostada rice. And
Yeah.
then I've kind of learned about, I don't weigh and measure my food, but I kind of know like how much we're going to eat. And then I pull it out, and then I have all the fixings like the tostadas, the lettuce. My husband uses olives and guacamole. We have salsa, and you know what's delicious? This is my new thing. So I do eat salt. I mean, I'm known as SOS free. My recipes are, but I've always eaten it in condiments in restaurants. And even though I know how to make my own sauerkraut, I'm not going to do it. It takes too long. So I love sauerkraut because I love the taste and also the benefits from it. And this maybe sounds weird, but I've got all my friends doing it now. So when we make our tostadas, we have the mi rancho baked tortilla, and then we put the filling, which is, in my case, it's a rice with fire roasted peppers and onions and like tomato kind of thing, and
Oh,
very delicious. And then if people want beans, those will be on the side. But in addition to the lettuce, I put sauerkraut on it, and it's kind of like a fusion, like a dill sauerkraut, just a regular straight up.
yeah.
I get the one from Costco that has 4 ingredients: water, cabbage, salt, and garlic.
Mhm.
It's like mind-blowingly good to put
Okay.
sauerkraut on tostadas. I'm just telling you,
So
right?
interesting. Like I would never think of it, and it sounds
I would never
delicious.
think of it, but the doctor said, I had some gut dysbiosis, and he said, because he doesn't believe in probiotics. He said, eat some sauerkraut. And I'm like, sauerkraut's really good. It's like good on everything. And so my other starchy staple is my smoky sweet potato burger. But I got so lazy that I didn't want to flip the burger. So now what I do is I just bake it in like a 9 by 9 inch silicone, and I
Yeah.
cut it into, it makes 8 burgers, and then I put them in the freezer. And then even though
That's
the bun
smart.
is round, it doesn't matter because it fits
Who
perfectly.
cares?
And then I'll put the dill on, but I love putting sauerkraut on my burgers.
That is so interesting. I never would think to do that.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. I love
Oh,
it.
Liz loves my enthusiasm. Thank you. Yeah,
Oh
yes, it
boy.
is salty, but when you're on a zero salt diet with low blood pressure, a couple of tablespoons of sauerkraut is not going to hurt you unless, maybe you have unretractable blood pressure or some kind of, there are people with, I know a guy that can't have any salt. He's got some kind of
Mhm.
interesting medical thing, but yeah, Bubby sauerkraut. Okay. I've never had Bubby's, but West Wild Brine from Costco. It's so clean and it's so good. Yeah. Well, it's so nice meeting you. I'm
So
sorry we
nice
didn't
meeting
meet
you
when we were in
too.
LA, but I really am going to make an effort. I do get the emails to when is the big event for Vegan
It
Toastmasters?
might be our next meeting. I'll email you
Yeah, if I
and
can
let
make
you
it, but
know.
I do so if it's during bundle week, I'm not going anywhere.
It's
But
it's it's we just had our last meeting and we meet twice a month, so it'll be at
yeah.
least 2 weeks. So I'll
And
check.
and then when people come, like we're on Zoom, and I'm guessing maybe we all see each other in gallery mode, and then like how do you run the Toastmasters on Zoom?
Really not that differently. We've got the Toastmaster who runs the meeting, they're the MC, and they call on this person and say, okay, well, you're the counter. Somebody's making sure that we're at least counting how many times we're saying ahs and ums and
That is the best thing I learned from Toastmasters. And to this day, it drives me crazy when somebody professionally speaks and goes, because I love being the counter. And
yeah.
at one point, I don't remember which Toastmasters, they gave us a buzzer. And every time it was like an electric shock. Every time they said, or we got to buzz it. In some groups, I think you put like $1 in the jar for that. Do you guys still do table topics?
We do table topics. It's an opportunity for extemporaneous speaking. And we have a really nice variety of topics that we do. So the first half of the meeting, we meet the guests that are there, and then we do the extemporaneous speaking, which is called table topics. Then we take a short break. And then if somebody has a prepared speech afterwards, we listen to a prepared speech, and then it gets analyzed. We have, we do a little bit of reflection. How'd we do? And it's really just to help people become better speakers. It's not there's no penalizing at all. It's just, here's what we liked, here's what we think you might make it a little bit better.
Well, if you give me a link, I'll add it to your show notes, and
Oh,
maybe
great.
I'll come with my friend Trish because I love table topics because I love improv. So that'll be good,
Great.
especially
We'd love to have
people-
you. Be
I think that people that are like trying to find their vegan voice, doing something like Toastmasters could only help them. And whatever your career is, you always kind of want to not say and and anyway.
Yeah. It's a really nice group, and a lot of people come for the community aspect because it's really nice to find other vegan people.
Yep.
And some people are there for the speaking, and some people are there for the marriage of the vegan and the speaking. So it's really nice.
Does Andrea still come? I have a friend in she used to come, Andrea Z. I don't want to say her whole name just in case.
I don't know that
I
person.
see. Okay, maybe she doesn't come anymore. Well, thank you so much.
It was such a pleasure. Thanks, Chef
Oh,
AJ.
it's so nice to meet you. And
Likewise.
thanks to all of you for watching another episode of Chef AJ Live. Please come back in 15 minutes for Nurse Stephanie Spencer, who has an incredible product in the bundle. You're only as old as your arteries. Take care, everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye.